What Democrats are concerned about is they feel like he's avoiding the tough fights. They say that he did a lot of really fraught investigations under President Obama, including, if you remember, that ATF gunwalking scandal known as Fast and Furious. And he took on then Attorney General Eric Holder. He did some really hard investigations. Democrats are not seeing him do the same thing when it comes to what they see as the politicization of the Justice Department under William Barr.
Well, despite what Democrats want, Inspector General Michael Horowitz has been focused on very real misconduct. A Trump campaign associate was spied on by our own federal government with a FISA warrant obtained with the help of Christopher Steele's unverified, largely phony dossier. And of course, Steele wasn't just feeding his so-called intel to the FBI. He was also prodigiously leaking it to the press. And according to a new report, Steele allegedly handed his anti-Trump propaganda to the media as political revenge. The ex-MI6 agent was angry that Hillary Clinton's email investigation had been reopened and made public. Well, a few days ago, President Trump said the findings of the upcoming report would be historic. Those are his words. In just a few short days, we'll know exactly why. And joining us now is the former Trump campaign associate targeted by the FISA warrant to spy, Carter Page, along with Fox News contributor Sarah Carter. Good to see you both. Carter, those who are named in the IG report get to see it in advance and comment about it. You're the target of it, so you're obviously named in it, yet you haven't seen it. So you've filed this federal court motion demanding to see it. Why not just wait 10 days?
Well, Greg, I think it's as we've been seeing with the left and their spin and the fact that people like Andrew McCabe, CNN analyst, gets to see it and provide all kinds of input. So it's exactly what we've seen from the very beginning in 2016, where there's no input from the people who actually know what's going on, and these deep state people on the left who are, very much paid for by the Democrats, such as Christopher Steele, as you're alluding to. So I think there needs to be some steps to ensure a balance and accuracy. So
right.
far, we've learned a tremendous amount from your book, Witch Hunt, et cetera. But, there's a lot of big questions based on some of the leaks we've seen thus far. And I just want accuracy.
Yeah, look, absolutely. You're the victim here. There's no question about that. You have a right to see it, and you should have seen it. What concerns me is in paragraph 3 of your motion, you say you're going to seek an emergency injunction. And I think, in 2 or 3 days, if they don't let you see it. What I'm concerned about is, are you trying to actually stop the public release?
No, absolutely not, Greg. And I've been in-depth communications with the Senate Judiciary Committee, who will then, on December 11th, then have a hearing about it. And I just want a fair hearing. So as long as we have a fair hearing and some real input from both sides, then I'm going to be happy.
Fair enough. Sarah
we'll have
Carter,
to see, if I get there. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah Carter, I want to go to you because, Glenn Simpson is now saying that Christopher Steele only released to the media or leaked to the media his phony dossier because he was angry that when Comey reopened the Hillary Clinton email case just before the election, October 28th, he didn't at the same time reveal that he was investigating Trump. Glenn Simpson is not telling the truth, which is rather typical of him. All you have to do is read the timeline in my book. It was Simpson who set up meetings with the media 2 months earlier in September to leak the dossier to the media to influence the election.
Well, that's absolutely true, Greg, and your book was right on target with that. And I think another thing that's really ironic is that Christopher Steele himself admits that he never verified anything in his dossier. So the fact that he became so angry and enraged and wanted to leak his dossier that he never verified, and by the way, the FBI never verified, is kind of a joke in and of itself. Christopher Steele even admitted, he said, look, I'm not a journalist. I just collect information. I don't verify it. That's up to the people I deliver my report. That's up to them to do.
Right.
So the fact that this even came out was just Glenn Simpson once again, and Christopher Steele, by the way, trying to cover their tracks. And it's something that we're going to see in the FISA report. Look, I believe Horowitz is pushing forward, doing the right thing. He has to lay out the facts of what happened.
Yeah,
he is limited.
Here are the facts. And what concerns me is that Horowitz will say, oh, they were sloppy, they were reckless, the FBI was unprofessional, errors and omissions galore. But gee, no criminal referral on the FISA warrant abuse. There were 6 material misrepresentations, lies, to the FISA judges. And here they are right out of my book, page 101. They were not told that the Clinton campaign paid for the dossier, not told that Steele had lied to the FBI, not told that their source, Steele, had a severe anti-Trump bias, not told the evidence was unverified, not told of exculpatory evidence that would have helped Carter Page, and not told that the wife of a senior DOJ official helped cultivate the information. In my book, that's fraud and that's lying to the FISA court.
Absolutely it is. And they were also, now that we're aware of this, an FBI lawyer, Kevin Klinesmith, apparently did not fill out the applications correctly. In fact, he misled the court on the applications in an effort to spy on Carter. So this is very significant. Horowitz has to be hard-hitting in this report. And if he's not, I think the American people are going to see right through this. Then we have to leave it up to John Durham. And John Durham's criminal probe. He has much more leeway here. He can subpoena almost anybody he wants, any documentation, as well as impanel a grand jury. So it's going to be December 9th, and I think we're just in a wait-and-see game right now.
Carter Page, if there is not a criminal referral against the people like Comey and Sally Yates and Andrew McCabe for lying to the FISA court, how disappointed will you be? Will that deter you in any future lawsuit against them?
We're still very much in wait-and-see mode right now, Greg. Again, we've had very little information. All I get is what's leaked to the New York Times and other questionable media outlets. So big questions. All I know is Mr. Klinesmith, for example, I reported to him the death threats that I was getting based on these false stories in April 2017. And not only did he do nothing, but then they had more leaks and more subsequent terror threats, which was pushed by the deep state and their Democrat colleagues. So real
Comey,
really
in
sad
the first
situation.
FISA warrant, accused you of being a spy. He made no bones. He said, you are a spy, and he knew you were not. And you'd written to him saying, I'd be happy to sit down with you and tell you everything I know. And he wouldn't do it. He ignored you. And instead, he got a secret warrant to spy on you. It's unconscionable. It's unprincipled, typical of the unscrupulous James Comey. Carter Page, Sarah Carter, thank you both. Let's turn now to some very troubling news out of Europe. Just